Crazy to look back on it now and see where it all kind of, how it started and when it started, and unbelievably special. I do owe a lot to Athy. I was obviously playing with Athy when I got picked for them, so I wouldn't have been able to get to that stage and where I am now without the help of the guys around here. So
Carbery pushes it through. Oh, Conway's onto it, and this time Conway will not be denied. A wonderful chip from Carbery.
Okay, my name is Pat Costello, and today we're joined by the Irish international and indeed a native, I suppose, of Athy, Joey Carbery. Joey, welcome back to sunny Athy. Welcome to Athy Rugby Club. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's been a couple of years since I've been in the clubhouse, but it's looking pretty good, to be honest, and it's always nice to come back in here. I have great memories here.
Yeah, you obviously have a great family tradition here. Can you tell us a little bit about those connections?
Yeah, so my dad, granddad and great-granddad would have played with alongside my granddad's brothers and my great-granddad's brothers, so you can't see it here, but there's a lot of names up on the wall with Carbery on the name, so it's pretty cool to come back in and see it all.
Yeah, what would your first memories be of coming here to Athy Rugby Club?
I started playing here when I was under 12, so it would have been probably just hanging out with my friends up here and kicking the ball around, and then playing obviously on Saturday mornings here as well, and I spent a lot of good time with my family, like my dad and my brother and stuff like that, playing and doing all sorts up here. So yeah, it's a pretty special place.
And as we can see, the facilities are excellent here.
Yeah, like there's 3 fully going pitches, and then there's an AstroTurf and a gym and everything, so it's fully functional.
What would the outstanding memories be of playing with Athy Rugby Club?
Probably just how many friends I made and how much fun we had together. Even to this day, some of my closest friends would be who I played with underage down here in Athy, so yeah, that's probably one of the most special things about it.
What would have inspired you during your days here in Athy?
I suppose I've always kind of wanted to be a professional rugby player, so getting the opportunity to play week in, week out here was pretty cool, and being coached by my dad pretty much the whole way through here as well he was a big help for everything.
Following Athy, then you moved to Blackrock, a very, very famous club, lots of famous names. What were the challenges you faced as you moved to Blackrock?
Blackrock was probably almost like a professional setup. We trained every day, had gym most days, very serious, very committed, so that kind of gave me a proper taste of what professional rugby was going to be like, and I suppose the second I tasted it, I loved it, so it kind of opened my eyes to the world of professional rugby.
Yeah, very quickly you moved into the professional rugby and of course the international scene as well. What challenges did you face in making all those transitions?
Yeah, it happened pretty quickly. I kind of had to just settle in, get into it, but I probably couldn't have brought it too much better myself. Starting off with Leinster for 8 or 9 games and then getting into the Irish squad, it was pretty special. So I suppose having such experienced players around me and guys who could kind of help me out, and then obviously a great management as well who kind of got me prepared and put the trust in me to get me out there. Yeah,
how important is it to have those type of senior players helping the younger players like you?
Yeah, hugely important, like guys who've kind of been through it and seen it all, just coming over, and even if it's just a confidence boost, being like, well done, you did this well, makes the world a difference. So those things really helped me when I was coming through.
Have you finally settled in then as a Munster player?
Yeah, I have. I absolutely loved my first year down there, and I'm really looking forward to signing on for another 3 years, so really can't wait to see what the future holds.
Nowadays they talk a lot about buying into the culture, whether it's a culture of a soccer club or a rugby club, a GA club. How important is it to buy into that culture, or does talent take over?
I think culture kind of sticks everything together. All the talent comes together through the culture, so having a good structure there in place for that is hugely important, and I think down in Munster the culture's second to none, and the lads get on so well with each other, and they're almost like brothers down there, so it's really special.
In European Cup rugby now you have the likes of Saracens and Toulon and Racing and the English clubs. How difficult is it for an Irish club to compete against that sort of, I suppose, talent and money and all that?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but I think, like the previous question, the culture kind of, I feel like we've a lot more culture than those teams would. So I think the last 3 or 4 years there's been 2 Irish teams nearly in every semi-final, so we're sticking with them, but some of the size of some of those guys is immense, and they're pretty resilient as well.
Does culture, just go back to culture again, does that equal family atmosphere?
It would kind of, yeah. It's kind of got that old traditional kind of rugby club feel to it, similar to Athy, where people know each other and brothers and stuff come into the squad. So yeah, it's definitely got that feel to it, and you know they've always got your back.
Can we take you back to Soldiers Field on that famous day in Chicago, your first, I suppose, international cap? How intimidating was it, coming from where you come from and all of that? How intimidating was it coming on at that particular time and facing those giants?
Yeah, I suppose looking back on it at the time, it was a pretty important part of the game when I came on, but at the time all I wanted to do was get on the pitch, so I didn't actually think of it like that. So I suppose maybe that really helped me then to kind of see past the whole the event and just get through to what I needed to get done. So but now looking back on it, it's pretty much like it's a pinch myself moment how special that day was.
You and indeed all the other players who came on as replacements, you looked so comfortable in the whole thing. How did management deal with that, or how did management make sure that you were as comfortable?
I suppose getting the training during the week up to the standard where it's almost like game intensity. So if you make a mistake in training, then you can learn and you can make sure that it doesn't happen again on the Saturday. So the management are really good for kind of getting us in and getting us prepped by having that game intensity ready.
The ability like you to play in a number of positions on the field, that obviously helps at club level, helps at when you're playing in a major tournament and being selected for a major tournament. How does it affect you at club level then, if you're not specialised?
Yeah, it's tough. Like obviously it's great to get you into the squad, but to be able to be a starter, and you kind of have to be a specialist in a certain position. So that was a big part of my reasoning to move to Munster was too, because I wanted to play 10. So getting more game time at 10 was really what I wanted to do, and thankfully last year I got it. So I'm really fortunate for that.
Speaking of 10, it's a position that I suppose the competition is fierce there at the moment. Is that a challenge to you? Is it a pressure situation, or does it drive you on?
I suppose it drives you on. With competition within the squad, you almost kind of have to be on your A game every day, because I suppose in training you're always being watched, and it is a bit of pressure, but I suppose it spurs me on to get better, and if I can perform every day, then I know I'll be a better player for it.
You have played at 15 at full back, but do you feel that the number 10 position, the out half position, gives you more of a chance to express your talent?
Yeah, I suppose being at a 10, you can kind of you can have more of a say in the game. You can kind of get your stamp on the game. At 15 is obviously a lot more free, and I love playing 15, but some days you might only touch the ball 3 times. So at least at 10 you can kind of get your own imprint on the game. Yeah.
You spoke earlier about the big guys, and we spoke about the big guys. How do you strike a balance between your natural game, which is very fast, very quick passing and all of that, and the demands of the game then in a physical sense, and how do you protect yourself?
Yeah, I suppose there's the balance where you don't want to go to the gym too much and get too big or too slow. So you want to keep your strength and your speed kind of get the right medium. So for me, kind of it's just making sure that I'm as strong as I possibly can be, while still being as fast as I can be. So if I do get hit, then at least I'll be strong enough to hopefully help withhold it.
And then you talk about the training, but you also have to do extra training, obviously, with the kicking.
Yeah, so after every training session, normally we do a bit of kicking with the kicking coach in the province of the international level. So you probably do an extra 20 minutes at the end of each training. So it's something I love doing, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So that makes it a bit easier.
They talk about in other sports the way that the football has changed, or the tennis ball has changed, or the sliotar has changed. Has the rugby ball changed over the last few years, and is it making it more difficult or easier for you as a kicker?
I suppose the only change that I really experienced was from the Rhinos in the old Pro 12 to the Guinness now in the Pro 14, and it's always been Guinness in the European Championship. So I really like the Guinness balls, the Gilbert balls. Sorry, a lot better. They're a lot easier to kick. So that's the only change up. But we actually trained with a few of the old 1970s balls there a couple of weeks ago, and they're not much grip on them.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them out in Blackrock, all right.
Yeah.
Is there a particular way that you want to place the ball on the tee when you're kicking?
I try and get the seam on the ball lined up to where I want to kick it. So and then I can kind of get myself in line through that. So that would be one of my main triggers to make sure I'm online.
With a major tournament coming up at the end of this year, how much confidence does playing regularly for a provincial side help you in leading into that tournament?
Yeah, incredibly. Like that was a big reason as well. To get that game time, especially at 10, the only way you can kind of get better at it is if you're consistently playing there and you're kind of learning and getting a feel for it. So that's really helped me, and getting minutes under my belt will definitely give me confidence going into the next couple of months.
Great success for Ireland over the last 5 years, beating the All Blacks, indeed all the big teams around the world, Grand Slams and other competitions and championships. What do you think then now is required for Ireland to reach and go beyond the semi-final of a major tournament?
I suppose just going back to like those big wins. Each time we've had those big wins, we've kind of played our own game and imposed our own game on other teams. So I think just staying true to ourselves and putting our game on other teams rather than them control the game. So I think that's huge for us really, being able to impose our own game on them and not letting the occasion get to us as well. At the end of the day, it's a rugby game. Regardless of the stakes at it, you still have to do the same things. So just having that calm and clear head really is a big thing as well.
That seems to be a message from your management team. Play to yourselves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I suppose we do all this prep to improve in ourselves, so we need to bring that out in the games. So that's when we'll be at our best.
What do you think are the major challenges then for you and your colleagues facing into a major tournament later this year?
Probably everyone trying to stay as fit as they can, because it's quite an intense couple of months coming up. So staying fit, staying healthy, getting that connection, the culture kind of between everyone, because there's some new guys in the squad and from different provinces we probably wouldn't see too much. So getting that connection with them and I suppose getting really close to people, because we're rooming with each other, we're spending every day of each other probably with the next couple of months. So we can't be kind of biting at each other's heels for that, so we have to be able to get on well. That's probably a big thing. And
the injection of new players, how does that help the squad?
Yeah, it does freshen it up a good bit, and it's a new, fresher look on things as well. So yeah, it's good to see a few new lads and can kind of see how they can get used to it, and I suppose it's a new challenge for everyone.
And how do you cope with the challenge of being away in a camp for so many weeks at a time?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like, you kind of get cabin fever sometimes, but I suppose when you get your weeks off and you get your weekends off, it's important to kind of get away from things, get away from rugby and just get away from everything and just chill out for a bit.
And what's Joey Carbery looking forward to in respect of the challenges that you face coming up to the end of the year, and what hope and confidence have you for that?
Yeah, huge hope and confidence. I suppose the squad and the team are in such a good position at the moment. It's really the biggest challenge really is putting it all together now. It's been a great couple of 2 years probably with results and stuff, so being able to perform at the highest level really is the biggest challenge, and I suppose I'm kind of really looking forward to seeing how we can all do it.
We're talking about challenges there, but what gives you the enjoyment when you're playing, when you're training?
I suppose the friends you make when you work so hard on a certain thing and it comes off. It's just like, yeah, we've done it properly, and then I suppose just being able to enjoy wins and success together as a group is hugely important, because without the guys next to them we couldn't do what we do. So to be able to win and enjoy it with them makes it really good. What
would the standout moments be then, Joey, for when you're playing test rugby or from your time playing professional rugby?
Obviously would probably be one of my first caps against the All Blacks and beating them for the first time, beating the All Blacks then in the Aviva there last November, the Grand Slam win, beating England in the last game of the tournament was pretty special on St Paddy's Day in the snow was pretty cool. So there's been a few, winning the Champions Cup obviously, a lot, but I think there's so much potential and so much to look forward to that I think we can top that.
We mentioned Blackrock earlier and some great players there, Slattery and Willie Duggan and all those. Who were the players that would have inspired you as you grew up, whether it was here in Athy or as you moved along in the professional era?
Yeah, probably like when I was at my youngest, probably the likes of like Daniel Carter and Mills Moline and Ron O'Gara probably would have been the big guys up there who I would have watched and kind of idolised a good bit. And then coming into the professional setup, someone like Jamie Heaslip was very good to me. He kind of kept an eye on me and helped me out with like, make sure you're not late for this meeting, and just saying things here and there to kind of boost my confidence. And because he's obviously been through it all, and he was probably one of the big guys who helped me out through that.
Who would your favourite player be nowadays?
Favourite player nowadays?
Or in the Irish squad, or any of the squads you're involved in?
Favourite player? I don't know.
Be careful, huh?
Yeah, don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Probably
Everyone.
but someone who's still playing, Daniel Gada would have been one of my idols, and he's still playing over in Japan. He'd probably still be my favourite.
Rugby, really growing in Ireland, really going across the world. What advice would you have for a young player like you, starting off as a 12-year-old here in Athy, or indeed a little bit later? What advice would you have to players, joining rugby clubs now?
I'd just presume. I'd say that expect how tough it's going to be, but enjoy working hard for it, because the rewards you get from it is so worth it. So it's tough, but if you work hard, I suppose you can get to anywhere you want to. So just keep working hard and keep enjoying it. Really, is the big thing.
Finally, Joey, we all know you, or we think we know you, as Joey Carbery, the rugby player on the field of play. What's Joey Carbery like off the field of play? What interests you, motivates you, and keeps you going?
I suppose, like I said earlier, when I'm away from rugby, I like to get away from rugby, whether it be going to the cinema, playing golf, hanging out with friends, stuff like that. Kind of keeps me level-headed and calm. So being able to switch off from rugby is huge for me. So whatever that takes, really, it's great to do.
What switches you off then?
Around the golf, probably. I'm trying to get good at golf at the moment. It can be very, very frustrating, but I'm getting better. But then just hanging out with friends, and even going to the cinema and going out for food and stuff. And even just getting back home and chilling at home with my parents and brother and sister and stuff really helps as well.
Okay, Joey, we mentioned the connections to Athy Rugby Club earlier, but they're big connections, because here we are at the captain's table, I suppose, captain here, and we see D Carbery there, we see D Carbery again, and we see J Carbery as well, but you were telling me maybe even further back.
Yeah, so pretty much I think my great-granddad's wife, so my great-grandmother, her family was O'Neill, so that would have been a relation of hers. Yeah. This would have been my great-granddad's brother.
So Dan, is it?
Dan Carbery, yeah. And then that would have been my great-granddad.
Okay.
And then this would have been my granddad here.
Granddad here, yeah. So stretching back from 25, 26 all the way up to 65, 66?
Yeah, so there's a good run of it. So my granddad would have been there, and then he's obviously got cousins, and his brother would have played along with his team there. So there's a lot of history back.
And your dad would have coached you as well? As
yeah. My dad would have coached me from under 12s all the way up into under 19s. So he would have been involved with the club heavily as well. He coached the seniors and a few years after that as well. So there's a good history in the squad and the team. So this would have been my great granddad here, and that would have been his brother Dan. But yeah, that's probably the first connection to Athy that my family would have, and I'm a JP Carbery as well, so it's pretty cool.
I see. So back in 1927.
1927.
Where would the family have come from? Where would they have lived in Athy?
They would have lived initially. His parents, so my great-great-grandparents, would have lived in the golf club. So there's a big house in the golf club where they would have lived, and then he moved into St John's, which is a house just in the middle of the town.
Just near Pettit there.
Yeah, near Pettit there. So just by the river. So.
Okay, Joey, we've moved up through the years, but there's a gap between 62 and here we are, 82, but the same man is in both pictures, and we've got a bit of colour as well. Who are we talking about?
So my granddad is here, and then he's down here as well, so he was involved in a while. So I think in between 62 and 82 would have moved back to New Zealand for a couple of years, and then came back obviously a bit later then as well. But it's pretty cool to be able to see it in colour and see him back when he was back playing. So you can see this is my dad.
And that's you climbed
that's
up
me.
there.
And then this one is dad again, coaching the seniors. So dad had been under 19s my last year playing with Athy. So.
And you would have been what, 17 there?
17, yeah.
17. And what was it like as a 17-year-old playing under 19?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I would have been close to playing 18s, but yeah, it's. I think we just won the semi-final against Kilkenny to go into the final. So. That were great memories. I think that was a pretty good team, to be honest, by memory. So.
And how many of these would now be classed as your friends, or have they all moved on?
A good few would be still, especially 2 or 3 of them would be very close friends of mine. So it's pretty special to be able to look back in pictures like that.
How has Athy Rugby Club changed over the years? You see all the photographs. You can see, the colours are coming out, and then the players are getting bulkier as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like it. I do think as well that the facilities are getting way better, which obviously helps everyone improve. So there's new pitches, there's a really good gym and an AstroTurf, so it's great to see the started progressing a good bit.
And it's great to see the history here today, and the Carbery family part of that history, and the O'Neill family.
Yeah, it's very special to be able to go back and see all these pictures and have that connection, I suppose. And I know my granddad's coming over from New Zealand in August, and he always loves coming up here and having a look at all the pictures.
Okay, Joey, I see a very baby-faced Joey Carbery up here on the top. Hasn't changed much over the years, and a jersey to match it.
Yeah, so that would have been my first Irish jersey playing under 18 youths. That would have been the headshot. So yeah, like you said, I'm looking pretty young, but I don't look too old now either. So
no, that's true. Yeah. So that's 6 years ago now. At this stage, a lot has happened for you, and a lot has happened for Ireland. A lot has happened for Athy in those 6 years.
Yeah, it's crazy thinking back because it doesn't seem like too long ago. And obviously a lot of things have changed since then. But it's great to look back on the jersey and see where it all kind of started.
Yeah. The jersey, the size of it, we could fit two Joey Carberys in that jersey.
It used to hang off me down to my knees, but now it's great memories of that, I must say. But just comparing it, it looks massive.
Yeah.
I don't even think I would fill it out now.
It's all more cling now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all different technology nowadays.
But isn't that's a lovely memory for you, a lovely memory for Athy to have your first Irish jersey here.
Yeah, it is. But I do owe a lot to Athy. I was obviously playing with Athy when I got picked for them, so. I wouldn't have been able to get to that stage and where I am now without the help of the guys around here. So,
yeah. And what was it like coming back after wearing that jersey?
It's pretty special. Being able to come and it was a very proud moment for me to be able to get my jersey, first one, and then obviously with the other family and stuff on the walls, it's pretty special.
We've talked a lot about your dad and your dad's side of things. But what about your mum and your mum's side? How does she respond to all of this?
Yeah, she's a big rugby fan as well. Her parents would be more Gaelic orientated, but now they're big into the rugby as well. They actually come down to a lot of the games, so they've got a jersey hanging up in their house now as well, which is pretty cool. So
the phone was ringing for tickets all the time.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, we've moved on to the second jersey hanging on the wall here in Athy. It says large, Joey, but it doesn't look too large, does it, compared to the previous one?
No, it's a bit smaller than the last one. Fits me a bit better, I thought.
So this is the type of jersey you would have worn for your first international cap in Soldiers Field, but this is the one you wore on your second cap.
Yeah, so it's very similar to the one I wore on my first cap. So kind of when I first started getting back into the international scene, and yeah, it's crazy to look back on it now and see where it all kind of how it started and when it started, and it's unbelievably special.
Yeah. And was your first thought, I've got to get a jersey like this back to Athy to get it hanging on the wall?
Yeah, I kind of always wanted to be able to give a jersey and give something back. So, like my first one, and to have a senior international one is pretty. I thought would be cool to have up here as well.
A much tighter fit.
Much tighter fit, yeah.
Obviously comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable to be fair. But no, the memories you have in these jerseys kind of. It's something I'll definitely cherish. Try and keep as much jerseys as I can for the rest of my life.
And do you still get the caps for the physical caps, or is it one cap for a certain number of internationals?
So you get one cap for your first one, and then one for your 50th, one for your 100th. So you don't get a cap every time, but the jerseys kind of mark that you get to keep the jerseys up to every game. So
yeah, because some give them every year, and they just mark the number of caps for the particular year with just one cap.
No, it's just with the Irish thing. It's just you get your first, your 50th, and your 100th. So getting my first. Actually framed my first Irish jersey against the All Blacks with my hat and then the All Blacks jersey. I swapped one of my jerseys with one of the other guys, so I got the two jerseys and the cap in the one frame, which is pretty special.
If you were to swap your Irish jersey with another team's jersey, what would that be?
Probably have to be the All Blacks one. So I got Aaron Cruden's. He was the number 22 on the other side. He came up to me and he gave me his jersey, and he didn't want one in return, but I traded him one anyway because I thought it was very kind of him. Yeah, that was good.
And number 10 jersey, who would you like to swap with?
Number 10. Would love to have got one of Dan Carter's jerseys, I must say. He would have been very special. But I suppose nowadays I've got Quade Cooper's jersey. I swapped with him one of the Australia games, and that was very special. He's pretty big when I was growing up as well. Yeah.
What are the ambitions now for you, looking at that jersey? What are the ambitions for you as an individual, as a rugby player?
I suppose to keep getting as much of these as I can, get my hands on as much jerseys, and then just become the best rugby player I can be. Hopefully reach my potential, and I suppose just keep learning, never stop trying to improve. Because the game's going that way, like things change so quickly, so I need to be able to be adaptable myself. So if I can get to the best that I can be, then hopefully I'll be in a good spot.
Well, as we said at the start, Joey, welcome home. Thank you for joining us here today. And from everybody at Athy Rugby Club, we wish you the best of luck in your career, and of course with the tournaments that come up at the end of the year.
Thank you very much for having me. Tegral, Slide of the Nation.